This video is sponsored by War Thunder. More on that later. Well, I'm back folks. Did I catch you off guard? It's taken me just over 2 weeks to get this video uploaded to you, which has got to be a new record for me or something. And you know what? You better goddamn appreciate it. Previously, we tackled all 34 Skyrim Greater Powers, which, let's be honest, weren't that great. But up next, we have Skyrim's Lesser Powers. So this time around, we can at least go in with fewer expectations. I promise to hold my tongue better this time. There were 14 Lesser Powers in total, and unlike the Greater Powers, they can be used multiple times per day. So forget that once per day bull crap, that's out of the window. See, I just held my tongue. Now without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the F tier's back. And first up is the Khajiit's racial power, Night Eye. Now, I think you guys know how I feel about night vision in this game, and if you don't, feel free to check out a bunch of my other rankings where I tell it to get lost. However, I did notice one or two of you mention how badly the visibility is on Nintendo Switch. Apparently, the brightness isn't even adjustable, which is just ludicrous. But fear not, Nintendo wizards, because there is an easy solution. All you need to do is go to your system settings, find TV output, and adjust the RGB range to either automatic or limited range. That should fix up the darker areas right away. Who said I'm just a wizard of the arcane? I'm a tech wizard too. But if for some reason that doesn't work, then grab a goddamn torch or learn to cast candlelight. Another night vision lesser power, so I'll keep this brief. It sucks. The only reason Vampire Sight is above Night Eye is due to the fact that every race can cast it as long as they're a bloodsucker. We're out of the F tier, we're skipping the E tier and heading straight into the D tier. Would you look at that? Breath of Nchuak, if that's how it's pronounced, is an enchantment found on the Visage of Mazund, a unique dwarven helmet found in Foulbathars. Again, if that's how it's pronounced. It draws upon stamina to release a scorching blast of steam that deals 15 points of damage per second. So it's very similar to the Dwarven Centurion steam attack, but better, since we can move around to aim it at our targets. When a Dwarven Centurion performs the steam attack, it's locked in and can't move until the attack's finished, or with a bit of WD-40. In addition to the breath attack, the helmet also increases our stamina by 60 points, so we can get like a free cast or two out of it, which is neat. But how do I really feel about this lesser power? It's meh. I think it's a cool idea, but late game, it's just not worth it. Its damage becomes weak fast, and I don't like the fact that we have to wear a dwarven helmet to cast it. Amaeus Mora made quite a few features in our Greater Powers ranking, and now he's back for some more. Bardic Knowledge summons a floating spectral drum that plays a rather sick beat. We can get this lesser power from the Black Book Untold Legends, which improves our stamina regeneration, including our allies' stamina regeneration, for 300 seconds. To be more specific, stamina regeneration is fortified by 50% in a 250-foot radius. So that's a pretty large area and a decent fortification, but only really useful to our allies because of vegetable soup. Along with restoring 1 point of health, it restores 1 point of stamina per second for 720 seconds, which basically gives us unlimited power attacks for 12 whole minutes, since only 1 point of stamina is required to do stamina-related stuff. As the saying goes, all roads lead to the Stealth Archer, and one way to take sniping our victims to the next level is with Telekinesis Arrows. These magical projectiles are from the Arcane Archer Pack, part of the Creation Club, and they're the highest damage arrows in the game, coming in at a base damage of 111. That puts it miles ahead of second place, but unfortunately they're not your typical arrow. Once fired, they're suspended in midair until we give the command to let loose. Now, why is that good? Well, traditionally, we can only fire one shot at a time as an archer, and with each subsequent shot we make, the likelihood of enemies finding us increases. But now, with Telekinesis Arrows, we can fire up to 10 of these bad boys in advance, suspending them in mid-air, and releasing them all at the same time. That gives us the potential to get up to 10 critical hits before the enemy has a chance to react. That makes them brilliant before combat starts, but once we're detected, we might as well use them as kindling for our fire. Actually, I wouldn't even recommend that. Have you seen what it takes to craft these things? 1 firewood, which is a given, and 2 void salts. Gwarthois! Disgraceful. If I were you, I'd use bound quiver. I'll get to the why later on. But right now, it's time for some War Thunder. War Thunder is arguably the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and is available for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and now even mobile devices. So no matter where you are, there's really no excuse not to blow some shit up. Now here's something that genuinely shocked me. War Thunder lets us take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations. That's like 2,490 more vehicles than I was expecting. And they range from biplanes and armored cars from the 1920s to the fighter jets and main battle tanks of today. So if we think about vehicle warfare throughout history, they've basically got the entire timeline covered. But what impresses me the most about this game is just how realistic it is. Every single vehicle is literally modeled down to its individual components. We're talking engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew, all of which can be damaged or disabled by enemy fire. Just check out this tank's components exploding in X-ray view. Beautiful! So why not immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder? With incredibly detailed vehicles, stunning graphics, and authentic sound effects, it puts us right at the helm of the most powerful war machines ever built. There are over 95 million players in epic PvP battles right now, blowing shit up as we speak. So you'd be silly not to join in on the fun. With an unmatched wealth of high quality content to discover, there's simply no better game suited for fans of military history. So sign up now using the links in either my pinned comment or video description. New and returning players on PC and consoles who haven't played in the last 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack, including multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle Eagle of Valor Decorator, 100,000 Silver Lions, 7 days of premium account, and much more. It's only available for a limited time, wizards, so be quick! As we uncovered in my ranking of the Greater Powers, the ability to transform into a werewolf is badass. But what some of you may not know is that our beast form can be upgraded even further with the use of totems. There are 3 of these totems in total, and all can be obtained during Totems of Fear. It's pretty far into the companion's questline, so it can be a bit of a slog, but it's definitely worth it if you like doggy style. I mean, who doesn't, right? Side note, only one of these totems can be active at any one time, so if we want to switch one out, we just need to revisit the Underforge and pray to another one. Now, what the hell is the first and worst totem, wizard? For me, the worst has got to be Totem of Fear. It casts fear against our enemies up to level 25 in a 250-foot radius for 30 seconds. So it sounds alright, I guess, and it's not bad, but that level cap's not great. I mean, for a creature that would literally make me shit my pants uncontrollably and unapologetically, a level 25 cap seems very weak. Saying that, it can be increased with the Totem of Terror perk, but the fact that this lesser power also doesn't work on Undead, Daedra, and Automata, even with the Master of Mind perk, is just a nail in the coffin for me. Totem of the Hunt is the second totem from Totems of Fear, and it casts a Detect Life spell for 60 seconds. That doesn't sound great, does it? I mean, the best way to detect beings has and will always be Aura Whisper. It can detect everything, even Undead, Daedra, and Automata for 30 seconds. So why didn't I talk about this lesser power at the beginning of this video? Do I suddenly like redundancies? Oh hell no! The reason I've gone a little soft on Totem of the Hunt is that it lasts 60 seconds. And actually, thinking about it, we can forget about the duration altogether, because it has no cooldown. That means we can spam it as much as we like. It still doesn't change the fact that it doesn't work on the trio I keep mentioning, but at least we can hunt down just about everything else to make the most of our beast form. Oh, and in the werewolf skill tree, you'll find a perk called Totem of the Predator. This basically enhances our Totem of the Hunt by extending its range and helping us distinguish whether targets are in combat, not in combat, or searching. So yeah, nothing game-changing there, but worth mentioning. We've all been there, haven't we? Balls deep in a Nordic ruin, the exit absolutely miles out of reach, and our inventory looking like this. It's probably filled with useless crap, but we can't part with it. That would be like separating a mother from her child. Dim dioch. No thanks. So what do we do in a dire situation like this? Well, if you're rocking a follower who isn't already overburdened with your crap, then you might just be in luck. But if not, then you've got a long and slow hike ahead, my friend, filled with whirlwind sprints if you're smart. But do you want to know what's even smarter? Secret Servant. This black book power lets us summon a Dremora butler for 15 seconds to carry our excess items. He's dressed for the job, acts his part in a professional manner, and is always just a summon away. His carry rate is capped at 148, so as long as we're regularly emptying his inventory and our own, that additional storage should see us through any dungeon. And one additional sneaky trick we can use this butler for is for smuggling stuff in. A great time to do that is during diplomatic immunity. When inside the Thalmor Embassy, we can summon our butler in, get him to give us all our equipment, and then show those snobby elves who's boss. The butler also works great during the Sidna Mine quest and when we're imprisoned for committing crimes, such as stealing cheese wheels. A crime always worth the risk, in my humble opinion. But if we just bring our attention back to the encumbrance issue for a moment, there is one better alternative, I find, and that is Black Market. I'll get to that later. Totem of Brotherhood is the third and final werewolf totem and is the best of the lot. It summons 2 spectral pack members to aid us in combat. However, the buddies helping us will differ depending on what werewolf perks we've unlocked. If we have no perks invested, we'll summon 2 standard level 1 wolves which have 27 health. Oh my god. With the Totem of the Ice Brothers perk, we'll summon 2 level 6 ice wolves that resist frost by 50 points, have unarmed damage fortified by 15 points with a total of 137 health. Not bad. And finally, if we unlock the Totem of the Moon perk, we can summon 2 werewolves to our aid. Holy smokes! Which, let's be honest, look a lot better than they actually are. You've gotta be shitting me. They have unarmed damage fortified by 15 points, but their health? It's a measly 210 points. Most of the time they die within seconds, especially late game. Sorry Krev, they're summons, so they vanish upon death. To make matters even worse, they actually have less stamina than the default wolf we can summon before any perks get added. Gwara this! Preposterous! However, despite their lack of strength, they're still the best of the lot. They might not aid us too much in combat, but at least they provide some distraction while we do the heavy lifting. We're not quite done with Doggy Style yet, but you may be glad to hear that this is their last lesser power. Frostmoon Instinct is granted by the Ring of Instinct, one of many werewolf rings sold by our pack brother Majni in Frostmoon Crag. It's worth noting that we will have to be a werewolf ourselves to speak with him, otherwise he and his pack will maul us to death. And no, nice try, we can't pickpocket or kill the lad to retrieve those precious rings from his corpse. I tried that.
I'm going to find whoever did this.
Now, Frostmoon Instinct. As long as we equip the Ring of Instinct before entering Beast form, we'll be able to slow down time for 20 seconds. And yes, it stacks with slow time, making us move around like Quicksilver from the X-Men. Totally unnecessary, but highly entertaining. I told you this one would be coming up, and it does not disappoint. Black Market is another lesser power from the Demon of Knowledge that summons yet another Dremora to our aid. It's from the same black book as Secret Servant, so seeing as we can only choose one power at a time from these books, I highly recommend you go with this one. Now, Black Market. It summons a Dremora merchant who lasts for 15 seconds and has 2,000 gold. His inventory is leveled and so includes weapons, armor, and arrows of increasing skill. That makes him ideal for battle-hardened warriors in need of stronger equipment. However, don't take this Dremora for a fool. He's not stupid and knows exactly how to charge for his unique services. I mean, his ability to be summoned at a moment's notice is very handy, especially in dire situations, and therefore comes at a price. We'll receive 9% less gold for items we sell to him, and he'll charge us 25% more for items we purchase from him. So yeah, a bit of a trade-off there, one could say. But I understand and respect his hustle. At the end of the day, he's probably just trying to put food on the table. But if you don't share the same sentiment as me, then you can unlock the haggling perk to negate and even improve his price in your favor. It's a bit harsh to the merchant, but then again, do we really want to support the Daedra economy? Probably not. Oh, and don't forget about the fence perk. With that, his power really lives up to its name, and we can even sell stolen items to him. So overall, he's a fantastic merchant, and in my opinion, makes the Dremora butler somewhat obsolete, since we can just sell our stuff to him on the go. Unfortunately, I can't really provide much footage of this lesser power as I do not own a Nintendo console, but I would like to get one at some point, or at least a portable device that can run Skyrim, because man, playing the scrolls on a plane, now that would be a dream. But as is joining the Mile High Club. Amiibo is only available on Nintendo consoles. It basically summons a treasure chest which we can access in-game. The items within the chest seem to differ depending on the Amiibo used. Wait, what the hell's an Amiibo? I thought that was just the name of the power. Amiibo are interactive figures and cards that work with your games. Tap an Amiibo while playing compatible Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS, or Wii U software, and you'll uncover surprising new features. Ah, I had no idea they were figures. That's very cool. And it seems these are the ones compatible with Skyrim. We've got Zelda figurines and Super Smash Bros. Figurines. Interesting. Now, enough bewilderment. Here is what each Skyrim-compatible Amiibo offers. As you can see, it's a mix between armor, weapons, food, and miscellaneous items like gems and ingots. We can only use the same Amiibo once per day, but the best items we can get include the Champion's Tunic, a Hylian Shield, and the Master Sword. And the reason I've ranked this lesser power so high up is because of those exact items. It's basically a free treasure chest, well, after we buy the action figures, which gives us some of the best gear right at the start of the game. So it's basically a cheat code for Nintendo players. Who doesn't love the bound bow? It's a majestic looking weapon and even comes with its own majestic looking arrows. And speaking of those arrows, I always wondered why there wasn't a way to shoot them from any bow. But not anymore, thanks to Bound Quiver from the Creation Club. This summons the exact same quiver we get with the bound bow, containing 100 bound arrows for 120 seconds. And that's epic for a couple of reasons. One, we get unlimited access to a high damage arrow potentially very early on. Two, they're unlimited, so we never have to worry about stocking up on arrows. And 3, they can be equipped with any bow extremely quickly, costing very little magicka, therefore making them extremely convenient. And unlike the bound arrows that automatically get equipped when the bound bow is summoned, the bound quiver's arrows benefit from the Mystic Binding perk, increasing their damage from 24 to 32. That places them right behind Telekinesis Arrows as the second highest damage ammunition in the game. Ragorol! Outstanding! But that's not all. If we cast Bound Bow, then use Bound Quiver, both our bow and arrows will benefit from Mystic Binding to reach a combined base damage of 56. Ultimately, that's just very sexy. Oh, and if your sense of direction is diabolical like mine, relying on Google Maps just to find your front door, you can fire these bad boys into the ground to light up where you've already been. That's particularly handy for never-ending dungeons like Blackreach, but especially useful for Shalador's Maze. It's like we're Theseus trying to find the Minotaur, but instead of using a ball of thread, we're firing spectral arrows, and instead of a Minotaur, it's a Dremora Lord. Get this Quiver, Stealth Archer. You won't regret it. What could possibly be stronger than a quiver full of arrows we can summon at a moment's notice, wizard? How about the Vampire Lord, young apprentice? Vampires in Skyrim, well, before the Dawnguard DLC released, were in short, horrible, and not even in the good, scary kind of way. Back then, once we reached stage 4 vampirism, every civilian hated our guts and would attack us on sight. Yes, we could feed on unsuspecting victims to reset our vampirism so that civilians didn't lose their shit, but personally, I could never be arsed with doing that. And frankly, the whole thing just turned my stomach a little bit, and it still does. Oh, are you a good wizard? Yes, I guess I am. But after the summer of 2012? Well, let's just say Harken, transforming into a vampire lord, turned me on in ways I didn't even know I could be turned on. I mean, just look at the geezer. The ashen grey skin, the gaunt but also muscular, statuesque frame, the way his ugly face stared right through my very soul. It is one of the best, if not the best looking beings in the entire game. And the fact that we can turn into one of these things is a divine blessing, literally. But wizard, Molag Bal isn't actually a divine, is he? You know what I meant, goddammit. But enough of me fangirling over the Vampire Lord. What are the actual reasons I changed my mind on the Bloodsuckers? Well, for starters, there are two combat modes, melee mode and blood magic mode. So if we're fed up with walking around like a peasant, we can switch it up at any time by flapping our wings and vice versa. And the ability to vary our playstyle like that whenever we like helps to keep things interesting, I think. But why exactly is it interesting? Well, just like beast form, we get some very cool enhancements as a Vampire Lord. The basic stuff like health, magicka, stamina, including unarmed damage gets boosted of course, which is great to see, but it gets way better than that. Are you ready? We can fly super fast, putting our bat-like wings to the test, evade damage by dashing forward incredibly quickly, transforming into a swarm of bats, hover over bodies of water like we're some omnipotent dragon priest, raise the dead to fight by our side, drain the life force out of our enemies with vampiric drain, and much more. Just like the werewolf, Vampire Lords get access to a unique skill tree full of insane perks, making us even stronger. Most notably, we can learn spells like a vampiric grip to pull enemies towards us like Darth Vader, summon Gargoyle to conjure one of those jump-scaring statues to aid us in combat,
I've suffered worse during training.
and Corpse Curse to paralyze a target and force them to become our allies for a brief time. There are more perks I could get into, but I think I've more than justified why the Vampire Lord is absolutely goated. In fact, I've been thinking about making a head-to-head video on the Vampire Lord versus Werewolf for quite some time, so a detailed analysis of both could be done there. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But before we go, a massive thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to play for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile now by using my links in either the pinned comment or description of this video. New and returning players who haven't played for 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack across PC and consoles, all of which can be seen on screen now. This offer is only available for a limited time, Wizards, so get out there to the battlefield fast. You won't regret it. Diolch am wylio, Dewiniaid. Thanks for watching, Wizards.